right. Check 1 2. Mic check. Mic check. Uh, First of all, I want to say shout out, salute to the panel in chat. Shout out to Intellectual Soapbox. And this is another episode of Intellectual Sports Talk episode. We are here today with, Boston's finest and, now New Yorkian Rush from the Clubuto Network. Thank you for being here, sir.
Yo, what up, salute.
And stay sucker free, you heard? And also...
Yes, staying sucker free for campaign, you heard?
And also, shout out to Wally from Well Talk Productions.
Yo, salute.
Yeah, and then want to make sure real quick I can introduce people in the chat. KNR, Knowledge and Relationships, says, let's go fam. Dallas Cowboys won 40-3. It was a shellacking versus the Vikings. Sorry, truth. And then we got Wally says, what? After losing to the damn Packers? Hell no. And then Dobie, Apparel Media. And then Wally says, salute. Jay says, need the link. Shout out to Jay Takashi. Y'all make sure you go hit the link, like, share, and subscribe to all the content creators in the chat. Knowledge and Relationships, Jay Takashi, Wally World Top Productions.
You're going to send it?
I'll drop in the chat right now. I got you. Let me just do it. Let me get through this real quick, though. And we got the StreamYard link. Shout out to Mr. Best, a.k.a. Intellectual Soulbox. He's dropping the link in the chat. So what we're going to be going through today is sports. We're going to talk about NFL, NBA, boxing, MMA, and whatever other, sports y'all interested in talking about in the chat or on the panel. First off, I got to ask Rush's favorite team, though.
You already know it's the Patriots, man. You know what I mean?
From they just got lucky. They just won today against the Jets.
Yeah, feeling good, feeling great. You
Hell game.
Hey, you got a basketball team too?
Of course, the Celtics, man. Anybody that's from the bench, anybody that's from the bench, they gonna hold these teams down thoroughly, man. We don't hop on bandwagons, man. Know what I mean?
Oh Lord!
You should have hopped on the Warriors bandwagon last year.
Funny.
Nah, man. We're gonna be expecting some other people to come by probably, but and
I
Jay,
this man in both football and in basketball. God,
yeah, Jay. By the way, I think I did send you the stream link, but if not, I'll resend it again. And then I do got to give a quick grievance of a kind of a sad take. The passing of Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger Tommy.
Yeah, man. I heard, man. I'm bummed out about that, man. You were watching that show, man. Power Rangers and all that, man. It's a shame that now some people are saying that he deleted himself. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. That's unfortunate, but that's true. Yeah, 49 years old.
Crazy. Because I heard, because I didn't hear that part, but I heard like they said that it was unknown, but man.
Yeah, man, it's a shame, man, that he had a few good indie projects that he was working on. I thought they're pretty cool. It's a shame that he died.
That's crazy. But it's funny. Ain't no one gonna care about that man unless he was from Power Rangers.
Well, what you mean?
What they'll remember him by?
Oh yeah, by him being a Power Ranger.
Yeah, in most cases, like no one would remember him like that. Like if he was just some dude that was doing something, like no one would even care. In some senses.
Yeah, so I just want to take a moment of silence and just remembrance of him. A lot of us people we grew up with his childhood. Watching Tommy and Ranger Nation and everybody that's grieving. He had a family. He was 49 years old. I believe he had a wife and kids as well.
Yeah, he got a daughter. His daughter played in some of his indie films too.
Yeah, so there's that too. So JDF, gone but not forgotten. Be watching over us, in the pearly gates. So, and plus, I heard through a lot of people, the people that go to Comic-Con, and that few that I've gone and met some of the people. It was just unfortunate, and there's things you can't tell when it could happen. But much respect to him, and we're gonna be turning the page now on a more positive note. And I want to welcome Jay Takashi. But
before we turn it to a positive light, let me just say this: I'll be doing the stream dedicated to him tomorrow. This shit hit me hard. It fucking hurts because I had planned to go see him sometime next year to go finally meet the guy because I never got a chance to meet him all throughout my fucking childhood, and it pisses me off that a father, a husband, and probably one of the greatest actors in the TV series that I loved so much as a kid is gone right now. And that shit fucking had my eyes watering for a good fucking 10 minutes. Shit was fucking crazy. Just the loss of life of an important person, never knowing what they truly go through, is surprising. And I think the best words are to say a proper honoring of what that person was, and respecting all that they did for kids and for your childhood, is what you should remember them by, like their good deeds and things like that, and not toxic crap or like, well, he did such and such. Just pay homage and respect that. Because, like I said, the man had a family. He was loved by his peers. And he inspired hope into, like, kids. And it sucks that he's gone. It really, like, this one hurts way too much right now. Other than that, like I said, I'll do a tribute stream to him tomorrow. And I'll be streaming on Twitch. And me, Marcus, and Wally will get on this.
Ooh, I might not be there.
Well, me and Marcus then. Sorry, Wally. I understand if you're busy. But yeah. So like I said, we're going to be on it tomorrow. Somewhere around 8 or 8:30. And then there should be like an hour and something stream. Tribute dedicated to him.
Yeah, man. So, real quick before we go to, a lot of the people that did know that found out a day or two before. I believe they found out the day before, but they wanted to give time, at least a day or maybe a day and a half, so the family could grieve and get their notices first, and the rest will be open to the public. So, but gone but not forgotten. Always remember him, no matter what. And also rest in peace to the other lady that was unfortunate in the travels, Shanquella.
Yeah,
Shanquella herself. That was unfortunate too. It's sad and it's just disturbing. And I hope the family and those that lost her can get justice, and the people that did it could pay. So other than that, we do got to go proceed with the show. So we're gonna make sure we get into the NCAA football and NFL. I don't know, Rush, what your college team is, but I know for damn sure it's not Boston College. But Jay too, I know you're a Patriots fan like Rush.
Me?
Tom Brady fan.
I guess I'm just a spectator now of the sport, is what it is. So I don't really have a team anymore specifically. At least, like I said, I do like the Eagles. And Patriots were my team, but I'm just kind of done with that side of the NFL. I just really
watch it
now. Yeah.
All right. Well, let me just go real quick with the scores, real quick, because we had the Tennessee Titans. They beat the Packers 27-17. Anybody who's a Titans fan, I know a couple people I know that rock out in Memphis, stay out in Nashville. Anybody who's out there as a Titans fan is feeling good because they beat the Packers. And after the Packers had just beaten the Cowboys the previous week, we beat them on Thursday night. And I got to also make sure I read the scores for, sorry for any Chicago Bears fans. Sorry, Yella. Sorry, anybody else who's from Chi-Town as a Bears fan that I know, whether it's Genesis, Lil Beans, a.k.a. Lil Podcast. Your team took an L today. Falcons won, though, against them, 27-24. And Atlanta's feeling good. I know plenty of people from Atlanta, too. So, Hawks Nation, or Falcons Nation.
Falcons.
Yeah. And you got the Eagles, who literally squeezed out a victory against the Colts in the last, it was in the fourth quarter. And it was like 17-16, 1 point. And it's Jeff Saturday's second game coaching, and they barely lost to the Eagles by 1 point.
That's so sad.
That's still kind of impressive because the defense literally showed up, but it just didn't show up when it mattered at the end. And you got the Jets and the Patriots. You got the Patriots barely squeezing out a victory, 10-3 against the Jets, where the Patriots, I think in special teams at the end of the game, the last 15, 20 seconds, the punt returner runs it back for the end zone. They were tied 3-3 until he scored the punt return touchdown. And then,
oh, wow.
Yeah, you got the Commanders versus the Texans. Commanders won 23-10. Not a lot of people, really cared about that game. Neither did I. Then you got the Saints and the Rams. Saints beat the Rams 27-20. Who Dat Nation? I know a couple people from NOLA. Shout out to Sherelle. Shout out to Red. Shout out to anybody else who's from Louisiana that I know, from New Orleans. And any Rams fans, what can I say? Y'all suck. And then you got the Bills and the Browns. Yeah, the Buffalo Bills won 31-23.
Yes.
Cleveland lost. Unfortunate. But hopefully y'all are getting Deshaun Watson back soon. But the Bills did win. They needed a comeback win after that loss before. And then you have the Ravens and the Panthers. Ravens beat the Panthers 13-3. It was a very slow, boring game. But the Ravens did the job and the defense did the job. The Giants and the Lions. The Lions beat the Giants. Anybody who's a Giants fan, haha. And anybody who's a Lions fan, shout out to you. Anybody from Michigan, you know who you are. Whether it's Darryl, JT,
I'm
Rob.
not surprised that the Giants lost. When's the last time they ever won like a Super Bowl? It's been like over, 2 decades.
What you mean? They have been pretty good.
It was like 10 years ago they lost.
They've been doing decent this year, but the year prior before that, it's been horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Can't fight.
Of course,
And the year before that.
Of course.
Yeah, the last time the Giants won the Super Bowl was 10 years ago, and they faced the Patriots a second time in 4 years. And, but who's counting? You got the Raiders and the Broncos. You got the Raiders who beat the Broncos 22-16 in overtime. The Raiders were longing for a win, and the Broncos are still with their woes after giving that contract to Russell Wilson. You also got, Raider Nation obviously celebrating. The Raiders' record, even though it's still holding more losses than W's, that's a team that's actually good. It's just that they've short comeuppance, Then you got the Cowboys and the Vikings, 40-3. That was obviously shellacking. That's literally being destroyed bad. Shout out to the Cowboys Nation. Y'all did your part, and y'all made an example of the Vikings. And I'm gonna say the Cowboys record, they should only have like 1, maybe 2 losses. Because I know last week they barely lost, I think, too. And then you got the Bengals and Steelers. Yeah, Bengals and the Steelers. Bengals won 37-30. And the Bengals, Joe Burrow doing his thing. There's still teams that are under 500. But, Bengals are still coming off that hangover loss of the Super Bowl last year. And then you got the Steelers who are still in the rebuilding phase as well. So, but that's so far. The following game that's left is the Chiefs versus the Chargers. That's going to be a great game as always. Hopefully I got the Chargers upsetting the Chiefs just to, humble the Chiefs a little bit. But who knows? That's a 50-50 game for me. What do you guys think so far, though?
Chiefs are going to win. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying for overall all the scores and all the
standings. Yeah, like I said before, Cowboys, they're 7-3. They just tied it up with the Giants, but they're in head as the second place holder within the NFC East.
Well,
what about you, Rush?
Do you think the Giants will have a possibility of winning the Super Bowl this year?
Hell no.
No. I believe they'll have a good record, but at least they'll have a good record, a good showing, but they won't win.
And the only teams that are worthy or capable of trying to win in each side of each conference is the Chiefs and the Bills, and maybe the Dolphins or Ravens. And then you got on the NFC side, you got either the Eagles or the Cowboys. Maybe
Seahawks, I'll give them that. Vikings.
But the Vikings, but so far the Vikings, when it comes to actual tough teams, I don't know how they'll actually fully perform.
Well, hey,
I can't count on that. And the Vikings, I can't count on them in the playoffs.
Well, technically, they hold up pretty well against the freaking what's their face? The Bulls last game. But even though that was even stupider because they should
the Bulls.
Yeah. The Bills. Oh, sorry, the Bills. Sorry, not the Bulls. The Bills. You know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But even that.
But that's regular season, though. Regular season, I can take a couple losses. When it comes to playoff time, that's when you can see they perform.
Well, we'll find out.
You know. What about you, Rush? What do you think?
I mean, I guess any teams is up for grabs to get. You know what I mean? I guess the Super Bowl. But like you were saying, like the Seahawks was doing pretty decent this year. The Bills, they doing their thing. You know what I mean? I wish the Pats was up there, but you know what I mean? You gotta take your wins and losses.
I'll say this before Jay goes. It's kind of funny how both Eastern divisions in East Conference have actually the hardest and best teams in each conference. So you got the AFC East, who has literally all teams with winning records. They have at least 6 wins or more. And then you have the NFC East, who out of all their teams have at least 6 wins or more. So they all got above 500 winning teams, and at least 3 of the teams in each division can qualify for the playoffs in each conference. So there's that. So that's why AFC East, they got to give them their props, and because you got the Bills, then you got the Dolphins. So those are the 2 teams that worry me in the playoffs. Then you got the Jets, who are also a sleeper team, even though they just lost to the Patriots.
Well, what about Tampa Bay?
Well, Tampa Bay still
5-5.
Yeah, and they still got to work certain things out. But they're a team that should have a record of 8-2. They should not have been 5-5. They literally had 3 or 4 of their games came within 3 or 4 points. 4 of their losses came within 4 points or 3 or less. So 3 to 4 points, and they could have had a touchdown or a field goal. There were games where they lost by 2 points, and they could have just kicked the field goal and won it. But but the thing is, a lot of those losses, it came when they didn't have a full healthy roster. A lot of times, so they finally have a healthy roster, and they're right now at 5-5. So they got to make sure they work things out, and they got to win at least 11, 12 games. So they got to win at least a good 6 games left out of their 7 to make it to the playoffs and make it past the wild card and stuff. Because that's how they won the Super Bowl last time when his first year in Tampa Bay. Tom Brady was 11-5, I think. This was before they added the extra game.
Right.
So they can win it. They can win it. They don't have to, the Tampa Bay doesn't have to be a 13-3 or 14-2 or 14-3 record. They can be 11-5. They can be 10-6 or 11-6 or whatever, and just get in as long as you get in. Because we've had many teams who play in the wild card that are not even supposed to maybe even be in the playoffs. The Giants did it. The Packers did it. A plethora of other teams did it. I think the Ravens too. Their last year, they weren't a top seed at all. When they won it, 2013. So you don't have to be the best team as long as you just get in and you make the right plays and you keep the clock and you keep the ball. Don't turn it over. So, but Jay, I want to get your take on it too, man. What's up with you?
It is what it is. Not too much to say. Buffalo, kudos to you for winning. You went that big ass snowstorm near my fucking hometown. I hope they go all the way. Tampa. Yes, Tampa. Jets, I don't really give a shit. Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see if they win, but I'm pretty sure they'll win against San Diego. I can't see them losing personally. But that's all I gotta say.
Well, let me ask you something. So, right now, right? So, just like what Mark had said earlier. So, Dolphins and Bulls, they're literally at 700. Patriots and Jets, 0.600. AFC West, Chiefs, 0.7780. With the Chargers, 0.556. So, of course, if they lose, it could be lowered. But I think they'll pretty much be good, give or take. AFC North will be Ravens at 0.700 and then Bengals 0.556. And then AFC South Titans at 0.700. That's it. That's all the teams out of the AFC. And then the NFC, the NFC, right. Eagles at a 0.900. Cowboys and Giants 0.700, and then the Commanders at a 0.545. Seahawks at 0.600, 49ers 0.556, and AFC North Vikings 0.800. AFC South with the Buccaneers at 0.500. Those are all the teams on the NFC. So those are literally all the teams right now that are literally above 500.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, appreciate you for that, Wally. I'm about to make sure we go into Rush. What's your college team, by the way, for football? Do you watch college football at all?
Nah, I don't really follow the college teams like that.
Let me get you up out of here, man. Tired of this. Tired of these people who don't appreciate what college athletes do for us, providing entertainment. Yeah, I'm playing with you. No, I'm just playing, bro. Yeah, like I said, college sports may not be for everybody. It's okay, just I don't really watch a lot of college basketball, but sometimes they got good games and intense games, but I don't really watch.
Man, look, you watch college basketball at March Madness.
Sometimes, but no. But my bad, Rush. You were saying
that's probably the best one.
I didn't want to cut you off, Rush. My bad, bro.
Oh, no. I pretty much, I don't really follow college ball like that, college football or college basketball. But some of the teams I've seen play, it's pretty, they be on point, Yeah,
well, let me just read these scores real quick. Anybody who's a college football fan in the chat or in the panel, or anybody's gonna watch on the replay. By the way, make sure you hit the link, like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment after the replay. Helps out with the algorithm. Also, make sure you share this with anybody, coworkers, buddies, neighbors, family, friends, etc. And also hit that like button. And also it helps out with the engagement as well. Real quick. Also, make sure you follow all these content creators on these panels. You can catch Rush at Labuto Network. You can catch Wally and Well Talk Productions, and also on Jay Takashi's channel, which at the moment is flagged and it's been only for about a week, but he will be back next week voluntarily on his channel. In the meanwhile, you can catch him on Twitch as well.
Yo, how'd your channel get flagged?
Jay?
BS sharing.
Again?
Oh, he asked you how'd your channel get flagged. That's what he was asking you.
They said I was promoting violence when I really wasn't promoting anything in general, but they see it that way, which is, very nearsighted, short-sighted, and quite incorrect, which is facts on that. And like I said, I won't be able to go live until next Friday. The Friday coming up now. And we're gonna be streaming on Twitch for a good few days. And plus, technically, I get this is not really a good thing, but more so this is an opportunity for me to check out Twitch more often. And like I said, I have a different venue, and they can't stop me from streaming on Twitch. Like I said, YouTube rules don't apply to Twitch, so I can do whatever the hell. Well, not exactly whatever the hell I want, but I can do what I want over there specifically. The things that
Twitch is not as strict as YouTube, and plus
no,
you
it's nowhere near. I could game on there, and no way they wouldn't see shit as long.
Well, I mean, Twitch is it's made for the gamers,
It's the thing though.
community. You know what I mean? A lot of gamers
paradise.
that.
I guess you could say that. But yeah, man, me and Wally did it. Me, Wally, and Marcus did a stream over there. Marcus left a little bit early at the time, but yeah, we did a stream talking about the things we talked about over there. And the thing is, we do need to start. Like I said, we're pushing this a little bit harder over there. Now with this, like I said, we always have a venue to go to in case some bullshit happens here, and a backup channel on YouTube, and of course the Twitch is fine. But yeah, man, it was just over some. We were just watching like fighting scenes, and they thought that was promoting violence. Where I'm like, okay, you guys are stupid. But yeah, and like you know how they are. Like I said, the YouTube has become. You can't say it on here, but you're very sensitive now.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, was it because you were promoting violence, or was it because you were sharing other people's content?
No, it was because I was promoting violence. That's what they think.
Allegedly,
which I did not.
On what specific video? Like, what was the video?
On the Aquaman, like we do different superhero stuff, basically.
For real?
Like clips. Yeah, it was like clips of like movies.
Fights
on YouTube. On YouTube, not like through a different venue of my own choosing. But like, like when they have like scenes and stuff that are on everywhere, they see that promoting violence. I'm like, I don't know how the hell you got that from that. It's just like a form of gaslighting, pretty much what they're doing. No, that's exactly what it was. The form of gaslighting is what they were bullshitting. But but all in all, like I said, I'll be back this we'll be back this Friday, and try to give you guys a good comeback for us to start a good stream on Friday. Marcus is in the process of reaching out to somebody, so we'll be trying to get an interview with someone soon. I'll keep the name hush hush right now until we secure the guy, and be on the lookout for that, y'all. Other than that, Marcus, like I said, just we can continue with the conversation right now.
All right, man. Well, like I said, you'll be back in no problem, no time. In the meantime, you got to make sure you catch Jay Takashi on Twitch. Also, shout out to everybody who's in the chat. And
I'll put the link in the private chat for you guys, and I'll put it in the comics. So we'll just post it out there for you guys. So
appreciate it, Jay. All right, brother. All right, let me just make sure I read these scores though. We got SMU losing to Tulane. They're number 19. Tulane beat them 59-24. For college football, we have Navy beating number 25 ranked in the nation, University of Central Florida, 17-14. We have TCU, which is Texas Christian University, the Horned Frogs, beating Baylor 29-28. It was a nail biter. At 1 point, TCU remains undefeated. We have Illinois at number 3, Michigan, the Michigan Wolverines. They're still undefeated as well. Michigan's win, 19-17. Sorry to disappoint Illinois. But the Michigan Wolverines win, and I think they're a favorite to go deep and actually, maybe make it to the national championship. And Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns, they lose to number 16 Florida State Seminoles, 49-17. You have Alabama, who beat Austin Peay 34-0. They'd probably be the scrub team. It is what it is. But Alabama has 2 losses. One of them they should have never had, but the other one I can see. You have number 15 Kansas State beating West Virginia 48-31. Then you had Oregon State, the number 22 ranked in the nation, 31, beating Arizona State 7. You had Boston College from Boston. They lost to Notre Dame, number 13 ranked, the Fighting Irish, 44-0. Then you had a canceled game of number 23 Coastal versus Virginia Buccaneers, or Cavaliers, I think that's what they're called. And you have number 24th ranked Texas, the Longhorns, beating Kansas 55-14. Then you had 11 ranked Penn State winning 55, beating Rutgers 55-10. And then you have Miami, the Hurricanes, losing to Clemson, number 7th ranked Clemson, 40-10. Then you had number 1 ranked, the top ranked team in the nation, Georgia Bulldogs, beating Kentucky 16-6. You also had number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes, 43 against Maryland. Tua's brother, the other Tagovailoa from Maryland, they lost. Ohio State beat them 43-30. Then you had number 21th ranked Cincinnati, the Bearcats, beating Temple 23-3. Then you had Georgia Tech beating 18th ranked University of North Carolina 21-17. You had the Volunteers losing after they had already lost to Bama, losing to South Carolina 63-38. Then you had number 20th ranked Mississippi losing to Arkansas 42-27. The Razorbacks won that. Then you had number 5 ranked, my team, the USC Trojans, baby. Tommy Trojan. Talking Trojans, baby. Not the condoms. All right. Number 48-45 against UCLA, the rivals. Number 17th ranked UCLA Bears. It was 48-45, I repeat. Then you had UAB losing to number 6th ranked LSU Tigers, 41-10. Then you also had Colorado losing to number 12th ranked Washington Huskies, 54-7. And last but not least, you had a number 10th ranked Oregon beating number 14th ranked Utah, 20-17. And that's it so far for NFL and college football. So your teams won, hooray. Your teams lost, boo, you suck. Other than that, does anybody here want to talk about college real quick or no?
Nah, I don't got nothing for college.
Rush, you ain't got a team? You basically betrayed both states.
There is one team I wanted to actually talk about. Man, shout out to the Michigan Wolverines. Your boy.
Yeah, I don't think so. We're not. That's not gonna happen. Mm-hmm. No, I'm just playing. Of course, you could talk about your Michigan.
You say LA.
No, I'm just playing. You got to spice it up a little bit on the panel. You know what I'm saying? You hurt.
Yeah.
Like Rush says. You know what I'm saying?
I don't really got any comments for the college ball.
All right, well let's move on real quick.
Not me. I don't have any either.
Okay, well let's move on to basketball because I know a lot of people love basketball. It's one of America's and the nation's international sports. But anybody have any questions real quick before I mention the scores? Anybody wants comments on what's going on in the league right now? Feel free to say it.
I don't really have much of comments. I think like I said, I don't know. I'm not feeling this NBA season at all from anybody specifically. The only teams that are like really good right now are like Celtics, Bucks, and Cavaliers, and everybody else is just shit. Pardon my French. Even my team is not doing good right now. Well, Wally's team too. And we had a discussion, finally come to an understanding and some common ground of what changes need to be done for that. But if they don't do good this year, I think Jimmy's leaving. So
okay, that I do not agree with. I'm sorry. No,
I agree with it.
No.
Hey, hold on real quick. You guys, real quick. I gotta mute up. But Wally, Rush, and Jabe, you guys can talk about NBA. Let me just take care of something real quick in the backfield.
All right, Wally, you can go, man. I'm gonna stay muted.
I ain't hearing that bigotry you talking.
Wally, real quick, if you want to go over the scores, man.
Yeah. Let me get that score boy real quick.
Exactly. Washington beat Miami. What else we got? Knicks versus Suns today. Pretty sure the Suns won. Go ahead, Wally. Right after that.
I'm getting the record. Hold on. I'm getting the record. So I'm got it in front of me. NBA games. Standings. All right. Let me get these pop open. Yeah, sorry, it's taking me a minute. All right. Let's see here. Let's see. All right. So for today's games that are happening right now, Suns versus the Knicks. They won that game 116-95. Wizards versus the Hornets. They won that 106-102. Pretty close game. Kings versus the Pistons. 137-129. And right now, there's an ongoing game of the Knicks and the Grizzlies. That's right now, the Knicks are leading by 2 points, 92-90 in the third quarter. Warriors 102-99. They're in the fourth quarter. Cavs with the Heats. Cavs are leading 88 to Heat 62, and they're in the third quarter with 1:21 to go, or at least 48 seconds to go. And then the Mavericks versus the Nuggets, 4 points in difference. Mavericks 56, Nuggets 52, and they're in the halftime right now. And then later today at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, it will be the Lakers versus the Spurs. That's the games of today. But let me take an overall standing. So for the Eastern Conference right now, team number 1 are the Celtics with 13-3. Let's see, they're literally in a 9-game win streak right now. So, hey, gotta give them props on that. The Bucks are 11-4 with them just losing a game. The Hawks are 10-6. They just won a game. The Cavs are 9-6, just won a game earlier. The Pacers are 9-6, and they're in a 4-game win streak. The Wizards that are in the 6th place, they're 10-7. They have a 2-game win streak. The Raptors are 9-8 with 1 loss right now, and the 76ers are 8-8 with 1 loss. And underachieving are the Knicks at number 9 at 8-9 with a 2-loss losing streak. The Brooklyn Nets 7-9, Heat 7-9, Bulls 6-10. God, wait, what? Oh wow. Okay, someone must be injured. Magic's 5-12, Hornets 4-14, and of course Pistons 3-15. Now on the Western Conference, the Jazz are 12-6 with a 2-game win streak. Grizzlies are 10-6, Suns 10-6, Trailblazers 10-6. Mavericks are 9-6. That's good for the Mavericks. That's been the highest they've been at for a long time. Kings are 9-6. Nuggets are 9-6. And then the LA Clippers are 10-7 for the top 8. Underachieving, Pelicans are 9-7, which is a decent record. They're just not above the rest, but who knows? That might change, give or take. Who knows? Timberwolves are 8-8. Warriors are 7-9. Thunder 7-9. Spurs are 6-11. Lakers 4-10. And Rockets are 3-13. That is the NBA. Anyone got their critiques? Let that rock out.
Appreciate that, Wally. Hey, Rush, what do you think about your so-called Celtics doing good in first place?
I'm not surprised, man. You know, it's a team that has a steadfast spirit to win at all times. So, I'm happy and excited that the Celtics are doing pretty good this year.
Well, what do you think about the Celtics when they get to the finals, but they don't end up, closing it out? What do you think about that?
Listen, man, we're not gonna choke this year. In the finals. All right. I know you guys are wishing for that, but it's not gonna happen. We're gonna finish strong this year.
Yeah, man. Like I said, bro, I don't hate on Jason Tatum. He's one of my favorite players, and also I like Jaylen Brown. But come on now.
Listen, man. People make mistakes in games, man. You know what I mean? And this year, man, I believe that they're gonna go strong. They're gonna finish strong this year. Don't hate.
I will say
I don't know
this.
about that.
I will say this. They're doing better than the Lakers. I will say that. No shot to Mr. Best. But,
a lot better. A lot better than the Lakers.
I also wanted to
welcome. Now he drops you.
I wanted to say, Yax Eatsy says hellos. Who's Mr. If you know? Yes, Eatsy. Cheers. Shout out to you, man, wherever you from. Or if you're a lady, shout out to you, Mrs. or Miss. Yeah, but back to the regular schedule broadcasting. Yeah, the NBA has been kind of on a certain funk and a flux because of certain teams not doing as good as we thought they were going to. We got the Warriors, we got the Lakers, we got the Nets. We have certain struggles with the Heat. You have the Cavs doing good because they got Donovan Mitchell, even though a lot of people are thinking, they're probably not going to do much. And then you got the Jazz were actually probably one of the best teams until recently when they started losing a couple games, but they're still in the top 4, top 5, I think, last I checked.
Let me look it up. I believe they're actually actually, funny enough, they're the number 1 team in the Western Conference.
There you go. Yeah, and let me give a quick shout out to Sister Annie Kenya in the chat. She's always showing love, showing support. I caught her over there on Let's Talk Better Black Live. You had a great stream over there. Shout out to her. She said, shout out to Marcus, Mr. Best, reciprocating, giving love back. Also, make sure you guys follow Twitch because Mr. Best of the World is also on Twitch, KNR2, and 3TV Network. DJ Eddie King.
Hey, Anya, what's going on?
Queen Forever 2K, Lola, Miss Ocean Possible, aka the Real Serious B. You also have Stan the Man Joseph.
He's taking L but making them sandwiches.
That's right. You make sure you stay in that kitchen. Hey, Rush. They're gonna call us misogynist. Watch, just because we said that.
Misogyny.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, man. But other than that, obviously the thing that's happening with Kyrie, which I think was kind of messed up. Not kind of, really messed up. After all the demands they're wanting from him, and the suspension he had for, give or take, I think almost a month now.
Wow. Yo, I was supposed to interview Ronald Dalton, the guy
really?
Kyrie's getting yeah. I was supposed to interview him last week. You know what I mean? But he got caught up with his kids and all that. Nigga got like 9 kids.
Damn, he's starting a traveling team, huh? Goddamn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It should be, when you get a chance, put your chat on the back chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll put it in right now. Hold on.
All right. But other than that, I don't really have much to speak on. I just hope my Warriors get their act together. I know that the Trailblazers are one of the teams that is, crazy because they just lost to the Jazz by like 4 or 5 points.
Yep. They're literally they're 10-6 at the 4th seed.
Are you talking about the Trailblazers or the Jazz?
Yep, the Trailblazers.
Okay, yeah. The Trailblazers were one of the top teams. I don't know what their standing is now, like 3 or the 4th best team, maybe lower. But then you had the Clippers, who I thought we were supposed to be doing better than what they are now, even though it is only been about 17, 18 games. But they're 10-7 as well. And, we got to see the Clippers in their full frontal healthy capacity because I remember the Clippers, I think it was 2 seasons ago when they made it to the Western Conference Finals when the Bucks were playing in the finals and they wanted to beat the Suns. But, they got to make sure they come back and they come back with a vengeance because they do have a great team. Yeah, it's just that, when Kawhi is down or Paul George isn't playing the same or somebody else is hurt or gets traded, it just doesn't look pretty. And, you got the Grizzlies who have Ja Morant, and John Moran is a nightmare for people. And you got Luka, who is an MVP candidate as well on the Dallas. So, but other than that, I want to make sure we jump shift, and we got to talk about the combat sports of all sports. And that's MMA and boxing. UFC, Bellator, One, boxing, Primetime, Showtime, HBO, Pay-Per-View Max, DAZN, like all that kind of stuff. Rush, do you watch combat and or boxing, MMA, UFC stuff?
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up with the latest fights, but I am a UFC fan. I mean, and
who's your favorite fighter? UFC.
I'm embarrassed to say, but I would say Jake Shields and Anderson Silva.
I can't get mad at you at Anderson Silva, but Jake Shields, really?
Yeah, I mean he's an incredible Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter, man. The only way you could beat that guy is knocking his ass out. Because once you wrap up with Jake the Shields, man, it's gonna be hard to get out his hold. I mean,
or you could be George St. Pierre and basically smash him for 4 rounds.
St. Pierre's cool. He's a incredible UFC fighter. I mean,
he's MMA. He's one of the goats. He's one of the goats. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the goats because he's been around for a minute, but yeah.
Of course. And he also had one of the longest reigns of the champion. Still, that some haven't even broken yet the record for him. The only guy that I think had broke the record in most fights was, I think, it was a recent fighter on like one of the lower tier UFC events. He broke his at 20th fight with 20th, I think, victories or something like that. But yeah, I know GSP has about 19 or 20 victories in the UFC. But I do understand that like a lot of people that hold Khabib up there for UFC GOAT, not just lightweight GOAT, but also UFC overall. But then you also have the only reason why the reason why I don't consider Khabib the GOAT is because he didn't defend the title as many times, even though he was undefeated. He didn't really have the undisputed belt till later, and he only defended it like 2 or 3 times, and then he left. And then the thing with I respect about John Jones is at least he's defended it. However, he did pop off on piss tests for cheating and violations. So that's the only thing I do hold him back on. And that's why I consider GSP the overall GOAT, because he defended it so many times. Like Kamaru Usman defended it so many times, and they didn't fail any drug tests. And whether it's also like Cain Velasquez, even though, and yes, people that heard of the news of Cain Velasquez, what he did it for justice. Yeah, I heard
he got freed out.
He got freed out. He finally got cash bail. He got bonded out. They denied it before for what he had done, seeking justice / revenge for certain things that a family member had allegations towards a little kid that he was taking it out on. And
wow.
Yeah. So that's why when he got caught and thrown in jail was because he was actually trying to find the person in the family that did it, and ended up shooting, and it was a straight bullet, and it was near a school zone, and it just got, allegedly, and they got pretty violent and stuff. So, he was trying to be John Wick, and but he was held without bail. Now he's out, and it's due process. The trial is still open. And hopefully things get resolved. But other than that, we had some crazy things happen. We had Israel Adesanya, the last stylebender, lose his title to Alex Pereira, the guy who has knocked him out before. Evidently and coincidentally, it was in the 5th round. And when they were both in kickboxing leagues, he did the same thing to him, Alex to Izzy, and Alex Pereira did the same thing to Izzy this last fight. And, being the champion, and he's a big guy, not small. They're both tall and lanky, but, they're lean, mean fighting machines. One hails from Brazil, the other hails from New Zealand / Nigeria. And, it was his turn to lose the belt. Izzy did have it for a good 3.5 years or so, maybe a little longer, maybe 4. But it's crazy, right? And the same thing would happen with Kamaru Usman for the welterweight division of the UFC. He held the belt several times. I think he defended it like 6 times, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And he lost. GSP, still a GOAT. He defended it like at least 10 times, I think, if not 9. But it's neither here nor there.
Quick question. Do you guys think Clarissa Shields is an incredible boxer? And if so, tell me why.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, compared to the people that she's fought, she is, because of how she makes her opponents look. The way she is able to control the distance, but also give out punishment combos. And the way she just hits is different compared to other fighters. Now, there's a debate that certain female boxers that she hasn't fought yet. One of them is Ali's, I think Muhammad Ali's, is it granddaughter or daughter or something like that?
It's his daughter. His daughter.
Yeah, supposedly Clarissa and her have their in and outs, like going back and forth and stuff. And I don't know if they're in the same weight division. That does play a difference. People got to understand there's a reason why they have weight divisions. People got to understand why weight cut is such a serious thing, and why 10 pounds, 5 pounds can make a difference in a fight, because it's the difference in the power.
Big difference. Yeah.
And you feel it, especially when you're training. If you feel it in training, you're definitely gonna feel it in a fight, where it's balls to the walls, chess game, master, technician, tactician. If you're a southpaw, if you're orthodox, if you're unorthodox. These are just some of the things that I learned in my experience when I was boxing, when I did Greco-Roman wrestling, when I did kickboxing, and even for the people that are on the independent circuits, amateur, semi-pro, professional, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel the difference. For Clarissa, she has done her thing. She tried it on MMA. She wants to go back and try MMA, but she went back to boxing for a bit, and then she's gonna bounce back to MMA because she did do good.
Now, quick question. I've never seen her fight in MMA. So is she good? Did she win any fights?
Yeah, well, she only did like 2 fights, and she won her first one by, I think, knockout. And then she won and then she lost the third one. I think it was either by submission. I think so. That's how she lost. But then again, that's you got to understand that boxers.
Check it out right now.
Yeah, for boxers, they're just not used to. They're not used to
the ground game.
Yeah, they're not expecting it. And remember, so I can't fault her for that. What I can do is just show a lot of respect that she tried. She actually won in a professional league. Professional, not a minor league, a professional top league like the PFL. That's where she fought, was the PFL league. So so the PFL is right there with Bellator, but it's still underneath UFC, which the UFC is a top promoting marketing brand of, So it's UFC, then beneath each other is Bellator, next to each other is PFL. So Bellator and PFL right next to each other right there. And then you have like one championship. Then you have but the reason why a lot of fighters that used to be in the UFC or other markets go to these other leagues like Bellator and ONE is because they pay more than the UFC sometimes. So that's why they go over there. And then you got bare knuckle fighting championships.
Yeah, those UFC fighters don't really make that much.
Well, it depends. It depends on the level or caliber of fighter you are, what you produce in pay-per-views, commission, merchandise sales, social media followers, all that plays into fruition. So you have that, and then you have the contract you negotiate for. So when a UFC fighter ends up winning, the majority of his fights, or basically all their fights, or they win a championship, they definitely have to renegotiate their contract automatically when you win.
Because when you're in the limelight like that, there's going to be a lot of endorsements coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they would have to renegotiate their contract, because at that point their value have increased immensely.
Their market value, yep. The stock and their stock increases, their market value increases, their engagement increases. More eyes are poured in, depending on the character you are that you can sell on the stands. And let me give a quick shout out real quick to Alonzo Hall, the All-Star Advisor. Salute. Shout out to you. And we also got to do the Harris Tribe Media. Mr. and Mrs. He said and she said.
Yep. But real quick, guys, to the Shields record. So she had 2 total fights. 1 fight was by knockout. The other one was by decision. So that's her fight.
Okay. So what about the third one? The third one she lost by.
Yeah, she didn't have a third one.
She didn't have a third one. She just had 2 fights.
Okay. Yeah, but from my overall view of her, looking at her fighting, I say she's been trained well. It's because she works with Jackson Winkle MMA, so she's pretty much like just in experience from her boxing, and then translating over. She's pretty holding herself well. I mean, she's like any typical striker, right? She can hold up the defensive side of takedowns pretty well. I think the only difference is just knowing, because she chooses to go for the grounding, like when she has the chance. But the thing is, she needs to realize, just because you can go for it, because you may have the strength hold to go for it and all that, and you have the upper advantage when you're on top for the time being, doesn't mean you have the wear around to grapple with other people to a certain extent, because I think that was the main issue she had. Because that first fight that she got her knocked out, that was the main thing. Every single time she got the upper hand, on the ground, eventually she'll lose that upper hand, and then she'll be, she'll slowly get worked up and turned around. So it's but other than that, she holds herself up well. So she transitions pretty good.
Yeah,
most definitely. But the only thing about her I don't like about her is her arrogance. She believes that she can overpower a male within that division. You know what I mean? Within
all right. We all know. We know that. Remember when people kept thinking that Ronda Rousey could knock out anybody or submit anybody in the male side? Nah, there's even a time where people thought Floyd Mayweather couldn't stand up to her and stuff. They had to watch out. Obviously, she got knocked out by a UFC female fighter of her own level, even better than her. Knocked her out twice. One was Holly Holm, and then the next year, a year literally after, Amanda Nunes, who is known as the female bantamweight and
but Dana White fed her to the dogs, boy, when she gave it to Amanda Nunes.
To be honest, it was Amanda who was more the dog, but when it came to Holly Holm, that was more of a balance, seeing who's going to win more.
That was a balance, but
because Holly wasn't that dominant compared to. Because remember, Holly Holm lost to the other female that came back, the one that had a rivalry with Ronda. What's her name? Brunette.
You talking about Miesha Tate?
Yeah, Miesha Tate. There you go. Thank you, Miesha Tate.
But she didn't became. I don't think so. She became the champion though when she beat.
When Miesha beat Holly, she became the champion.
Okay, so that means Amanda must have won it off of her then, because
she did.
Okay, so that's okay.
Yeah, it's just the only reason why they even had that when it came to that fight, it was just the fact that at that moment, because Ronda was getting paid like Conor. Ronda was getting Conor money.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because of the fact that she was a pioneer Viking. Because it was technically the woman that pioneered MMA sports along with Ronda was Gina Carano. Mm-hmm. Anybody who knows Gina Carano from the movie Haywire, who was in the Mandalorian show, she was sexy.
She was also in the Deadpool.
She's also in Deadpool, the first one. She was in other movies too. So but obviously controversies, and I think they brought her back for Mandalorian though, out of seeking justice for her.
I think she also played in Fast and Furious too.
She did. Fast 6. Yeah, Fast 6. Yeah, you're right. But so it was basically Gina and Ronda. Ronda just so happened that she was fortunate to be in good hands and shake hands with the Fertitta brothers, with Dana White, with the endorsement, with the sponsors, and I think I forget the other guy that goes behind the scenes too, that does things, that he's sometimes there shaking hands with the fighters. But they scheduled fights, and she got her contract. She negotiated her contract wisely, like Conor did.
Right.
Because I think John Jones was also making in the millions range too. GSP, I think, at least averaged $1 million per fight or over. But that's still sometimes not enough because some of these boxers end up making a lot of heavy $1 million deals, and it's still underpaid compared to the top boxers.
Now watch this. For all y'all mofos out there that talk about the damn, the poor pay gap, bull crap. Because there was a female that actually made more than most of these dudes in the freaking UFC. No, I don't hear no more talk.
Yeah, let me give a quick shout out to plus just to let you know the comments and opinions and perspectives of Wally do not reflect on Intellectual SoapBox or his channel.
Right, exactly.
But let me just give a quick shout out to Daryl Long. He says shout out, salute to you, fellas, salute to you, bro. Intellectual SoapBox is that back too as well. Yeah, like I said, make sure you hit the link, like, share, subscribe, hit the comment, hit the super chat, hit the cash app, whatever you guys got. Any donations are appreciative, and also make sure you subscribe to all these people's channels and follow them in their content. Anyways, besides that, I know that there were some boxing events that happened, and there was like some, you had Anderson Silva fight Jake Paul not too long ago. What'd you think of that, Rush? Jake Paul and Anderson Silva fighting each other.
I believe that Jake Paul beat Anderson Silva, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Correct.
And I think he knocked him out. I think Jake Paul knocked out Anderson Silva, man.
No, he made him fall, but he didn't knock him out.
Yeah, I mean, I think with his age, because Anderson Silva is pretty old. He's not really in his prime.
He's like in his mid 40s.
Yeah, he's like in his mid 40s, so he's not really a prime fighter anymore. But I gotta give Jake Paul his props, man. He was the better fighter that day, man.
Now, let me ask you. Now, do you believe that he will fight Andrew Tate?
Jake Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he fought Anderson Silva, Anderson Silva.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I'm saying like in a way. Hold
on. I gotta say this: like Anderson Silva ain't no bum. Like Anderson Silva is a respected fighter, man.
I will say this, man, because this is the thing that people need to understand about Anderson Silva. The guy literally broke his leg years ago, and even when he came back from breaking that leg, the same thing that they had to do for Conor is what they did for Anderson Silva, if not more, because of the tubes and the metals and the bolts in that leg. So you had to look at that, and then he was never the same after that. He wasn't kicking the same. He wasn't knocking out people the same ever again.
He wasn't never as technical the same.
Yeah, like I said earlier, he's not a prime fighter no more. He's in his mid 40s. The body's not going to heal like it was in his early 20s. You know what I mean? So yeah, after him breaking his leg, yeah, he's not going to be the same fighter. I mean, but he's still a respected fighter. To me, he's not a bum. And if Jake Paul would fight, toe to toe with Anderson Silva, I don't see why he wouldn't step to Andrew Tate. I mean,
you looking for another payday?
Yeah, I mean, if they work at it, the politics behind it and the pay, I think Jake Paul would fight Andrew Tate, man.
I'm not saying he wouldn't. I'm saying that he would probably lose. He would guarantee to lose.
Oh, as far as winning the fight, yeah, like I mean, it's a 50-50 chance, man. It's a 50 chance. It's a 50% chance that Jake Paul could, beat Andrew Tate, man. I I pay to see it, man.
Oh,
yeah. It's kind of interesting now that we live in this day and age now where some of these social media content creators think it's like, because some of these social media content creators don't take it as serious, they take it as a joke. The art, it's not even a sport, it's an art. Like
Right.
It's more, boxing is an art, just like MMA is an art, and it's not a game. You don't play these combat sports. You fight like gladiators.
Well, Jake Paul is an athlete. Like, he's a well-rounded athlete.
I'm not really talking about him though. I'm talking about like the other guys though. Like I see a lot of other guys, that are just social media, like, Twitchers, Twitch streamers.
Right. Well, those guys, they're cloud chasing. Anything to get a views and subs, man. They with it. They'll sell their soul to do that.
Yeah. But like, obviously you see it later when it kind of blows back in their face. They don't take the training serious. They don't take the fight serious, and they get knocked out, and they become a meme. But like you said, it can still lead to clout. It can still lead to followers and support or whatever, in some shape or form, some way, shape or form. But it's very interesting. But you got KSI. He's fighting Dylan Dennis, which was Conor McGregor's teammate and sparring partner. Dylan Dennis, and I remember they had a video where it was not just TMZ, but other people that were have social media accounts, YouTube accounts that were recording. They caught the fight breakout when they were having their little press conference and their meetup and their face off. And there was people from Dylan Dennis's team, then people from KSI's team, and then people were just fighting in general. Social media people were there. And then you have Logan Paul, who is basically being such a cuck and a beta about it, because he just disrespected Andrew Tate in a way, just because he wants to just defame and not understand, and they're pandering to the audience. The same with Mike Majak, which is basically his butt pirate buddy, and basically he's the kiss ass guy next to him on Impulsive Podcast. But they're trying to say some things that just because Andrew Tate has his perspective, they're trying to villainize him and kind of be like a very soft boy, soy boy sucker and a follower to the pandering audience and the mass media, just because they disagree and they don't like, and they know that by them pandering to the women, pandering to other people, pandering to the masses, the liberals will, sign off with them. You feel me? But.
Right. I mean, every individual has their own marketing scheme, man. Sometimes, if it's beneficial to that individual to be a liberal, and promote liberal ways, that individual is going to do it. You know what I mean? Not because he believes in that ideology, but it's because, he's getting the clout. He's getting the subs and clicks and the views.
And he getting the money, getting paid.
Yep. And that stuff transcends into money,
So what do you guys think so far, Wally and Jay? What do you guys think so far about the combo?
Amongst which one?
What we've been having overall.
Just to add on to the MMA part, it was funny because I recently saw that it was mentioned that what's his name, Alex Pereira. So funny enough, he actually came to the UFC last year, November, and now 1 year later, he takes the title from the same guy that he whooped in kickboxing. 1 year later, that is sad and embarrassing all at the same time. It made it even worse in my mind, to see that you were somewhat winning the fight and then to the end you lose, all within 1 year's time of him being there. God damn. Sad. Just sad.
Yeah, give me a quick second too. But yeah, man. So far, that's the big fights that I think people want to see are Joshua and Wilder, or Wilder and Ruiz. Want to see Usyk versus Fury. Then you got Masvidal that wants to call out certain fighters. I think Masvidal was trying to call out Burns because Burns made a tweet on his social media saying how, hey, Masvidal was ducking me, especially after losing 3 straight fights. And I was like, yo. And then Gilbert Burns lost a close split decision against Khamzat Chimaev, which Chimaev did beat Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland's on a tear. Kevin Holland wants to fight both Adesanya and Pereira. And then you got the welterweights. And, Masvidal's done. I don't think he's going to come back after this, especially after 2 or 3 straight losses. I don't think he even deserved the title shot in the first place, nor the other one that he got right back after he lost. That's just me, but it is what it is. Leon Edwards is the champion, and I know it was funny because Masvidal was begging Leon to fight for the belt, but he doesn't deserve it either. So that's just my opinion. Y'all can rock out though. Keep talking.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah, yo, give me like a couple minutes. I'm about to peel out.
Yeah, but it's just funny overall. Don't really have anything else. I mean, I know that Bellator had their fights the other week ago, or neither this past week ago. Just don't remember all that had happened. But I know there's a lot of those title changes amongst, I think, both sides. I know I know they had a light heavyweight fight. That was a good one. I think they just I forgot who exactly won though, but I know it was against a former UFC fighter within Anderson or Anders. Yeah, it was Anderson, but I forgot the guy's name. Yeah, it was Corey Anderson. Okay, yeah, he was there, but yeah, he fought for the Bellator lightweight title, but he lost. I know the lightweight fight that they had. So the lightweight fight, funny enough, that was a guy that's also under Khabib. He won that title fight. And they also made a meme saying between him, the dude that's in the lightweight division, that's the champ right now for UFC, and then himself is practically 60-0, which I find that to be funny as hell. But yeah. I mean, that's as much as I know right now.
All right, so yeah, man. It's going to be interesting how this kind of shakes up in the market because you have Volkanovski and Khamzat wanting to fight each other, but then you also got Dustin Poirier that just won his fight against Michael Chandler. You got Beneil Dariush. I think he's between lightweight and he's between welterweight. That's the weight division he jumps in between. And then you have Henry Cejudo, who wants to go up to featherweight and fight Volkanovski. That would be an interesting fight. But personally, I think Cejudo belongs in bantamweight and flyweight. That's where he belongs. Yeah, and then the women's division. It's just a mix up because you have I like Thug Rose, but then she lost. You had Carla Esparza, who walks to Shang Wei Li, and Thug Rose. Those are the two people that I think one of them she knocked down Zhang Wei Li, but she lost to Esparza I think twice. And then you had Juliana Pena, and supposedly they want to make a contract deal where she can fight Amanda Nunes because I remember she beat her. And then Amanda Nunes won it back. So they want to make a trilogy fight maybe. Then you had Divison Figueiredo. Then you had Brandon Moreno. And then, you had Moreno versus Figueroa for a fourth fight. So there's that. Then you're also waiting for the heavyweight fights. You're trying to see Stipe Miocic, John Jones versus Ngannou. And then you got the light heavyweight matchups. And it's just a cluster right now. So we're trying to see what are going to be the best fights coming up. So, other than that, in soccer, I don't know if you guys watch soccer that much, but let me see the standings real quick. So I know that the World Cup in Qatar, right? Because I know that there's a lot of controversy happening in Qatar. So, but right now it shows that Ecuador beat Qatar 2-0 in Group A. We still have the matchups for England versus Iran tomorrow at 5 a.m. That's depending where you're at in the world too, though. And then also, you have Senegal versus the Netherlands tomorrow at 8 a.m. You got the USA. Yep, that's right. USA versus Wales tomorrow at 11. Then you have Tuesday, November 22nd. You have Argentina, which is Messi's team, versus Saudi Arabia. Then you have Group D. You have Denmark versus Tunisia, Tuesday, November 22nd at 5 a.m. Argentina's is at 2 a.m. And then you have Mexico Lindo y Querido versus Poland at 8 a.m. Then you have France versus Australia at 11 a.m. on Tuesday as well. Then you have on Wednesday, you'll have Morocco versus Croatia, Wednesday the 23rd at 2 a.m. You have Germany versus Japan, also on the 23rd at 5 a.m. You have Spain versus Costa Rica, the 23rd as well at 8 a.m. You have Belgium versus Canada at 11 a.m. Then you have on the 24th, which is Thanksgiving, Thursday, November 24th at 2 a.m. Switzerland versus Cameroon. I believe that's where Francis Ngannou's from. And Uruguay, Uruguay versus South Korea at 5 a.m. And then you have Portugal versus Ghana at 8 a.m. And you have Group G, which is Brazil versus Serbia at 11 a.m. You have Wales versus Iran at 2 a.m. Then you have Qatar versus Senegal at 5 a.m. And you'll have Netherlands versus Ecuador at 8 a.m. You have England versus the USA on Group B on Friday as well on the 25th at 11 a.m. And that's just, and then obviously Saturday, November 26th, it'll be Tunisia versus Australia at 2 a.m. Poland versus Saudi Arabia at 5 a.m. And you have Denmark versus France at 8 a.m. You have Argentina and Mexico, which is going to be a crazy matchup. Those are two of the top, contenders to win the World Cup at 11 a.m. And then, we'll keep you posted till then. There's still plenty more, but, you catch my drift. These are still World Cup matches. And, this is for the World Cup in general. But, the World Cup comes every 4 years. So just to remind y'all, it's a pretty big deal for soccer fans around the globe. And, so. Oh, snap. We got a British invader up in the panel. What's up, Simon Hectic? You know what it's all about, eh?
What's up, my German brother?
Oh, my God. German? German? Wow.
We're talking about sports, right? So,
you're talking about soccer. You wanted to chime in on soccer?
I don't know. You were talking about
the World Cup.
Yeah, every 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
How it originated. So how did it originate?
No, we weren't talking about the origins. We were just talking about the playoff standings, or the qualifying and the matchmaker and stuff.
All right. So are we now just focused on that?
Yeah, we were just talking about the matchups, and we're talking about the score of the last game, which was like what's it called? It was the matchup of Qatar and Ecuador, and Ecuador won 2-0. Mm-hmm. But World Cup, like we said, it comes every 4 years, and I remember last time. I don't know if I watched the last one, but I watched the one in 2014, I think, is that the one where Germany won it, or was it Spain that won that one? Which one was it? I can't remember that one.
Germany's kind of tough. That like, when you see Germany, you see like tall white people that have been thoroughly bred. So I guess like our countries need to pay attention to that in a sense where we're breeding people, because like in particular with sports, that's what it comes across as. So like, if you take basketball for example, I swear to God, I was walking down the road the other day and I saw this guy and he was like 7 foot tall. And the first thing that came to my mind was, you could be playing basketball. Now, with what comes with that is I've also had colleagues at work that have told me what it actually feels like to be 7 foot. So it's not an easy game. I think we kind of underappreciate that shit. And again, that's why we appreciate our the people that actually make it into the game, because it's not an easy thing. So
yeah, I mean, like every sport and every people, like they have their sacrifices and the physical requirements that you need to do. Like, like not everybody can be a swimmer, not everybody can do long jump in the track and field, not everybody can fight, box, do MMA, and not everybody can play football or play basketball that way. It's just certain things aren't going to be in your favor. What you can control are certain other elements in your game, but overall, is it still a sort of disadvantage, if you come up short in your genetic, upcomings. But
did you ever sort of like feel like you could get into sports?
Yeah, like I knew I could play sports, and I did, but I knew I wasn't like the genetic tall specimen either, though.
All right, so that's interesting. So like, what I found out, like I played rugby a lot of the time, and what I found out was, like, you're just built how you're built. Like, you can't compete with everybody in the same sort of way,
Well, there's always going to be somebody better than you, bigger than you, badder than you, more athletic than you. It's just the name of Father Time is undefeated. So age catches up to you, injuries catch up to you, and everybody's fighting to get in and become that next big best thing. And their game is to stop you no matter what end within the confines of the rules and the laws of the game. So there's that. So it is what it is. Like for me, I knew I was stocky and built, but I was not tall. I was like 5'10", 5'11". So
I see that there's something that's been pulled up about the FIFA World Cup 2022 Qatar. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of interesting. I mean, from a British perspective, we like to get drunk. So, like, we're going over there.
Clearly. Clearly.
We're going over there, and it's like,
well, didn't they ban beer, right? In the game, like they can't.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's like, wow, like it's frontline news. Like, really, if you sort of like even like, I'll snapshot all of that stuff. I'll put it on my camera, and I'll listen. British people can't do that. Like.
Hey man, I don't think a lot of people that are going over there can't do that, and they want to do that. But it's just, I guess.
Yeah, we're talking about a sober World Cup.
Well, I mean, you can get drunk on soda. I mean, if you want to do that, you can try to, sneak a couple chasers. You know what I'm saying?
You can't sneak shit over there, man. They'll arrest you.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, it is their country. It's their rules. You got to respect the rules, even though it is a every 4-year event type thing. I I do remember the last team that did win the World Cup was France in 2018. That was them who won it. So shout out to the snail eaters, eating snails and stuff.
Wow. Yeah, but there were shoot-ups at that situation. If you
Yeah, and I know that 2014 it was Germany. So yeah, I did remember correctly. It was Germany who won it in 2014, and in 2010 it was Spain. And I remember 2006 it was Italy, and then before that I don't remember who it was. Was it Brazil? I think it was Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil was going crazy. I mean, Lord, they go. Like Brazil, I love Brazil. Like their football team's crazy. They've always been like,
but consistently good team.
Astounding, like, you know. And I think that's the whole thing about, like, I mean, I don't really tune into sort of like sports in particular. I do tune into, like, you know, like when it comes to the World Cup and like things like that, because it's poignant, because the way it was brought about was a competitive thing around countries. It's to demonstrate, you know, the aesthetic, the people. Sorry, I know I'm fucking around, but it's just
you're good.
The you know, the what you can bring up in your country. So it's like, you know, where the country breeds the person. So it's like, okay, now we're on the world stage, and it's like we're demonstrating it like through sports. So that's what I find interesting. That's why I was talking about the Germans being tall, because like the Germans, they may not be as, you know, you've been in warfare, so it's like they may not have been. They're just tall.
I'll say this.
Shit.
Well, I mean, but I'll say this to the Germans, though. I will say that they definitely are great drinkers. They have like beer fest. They definitely make the best. I think they make some of the best chocolate. They've had some of the best world strongmen. So the strongman competitions. They definitely bred some good rugby players. They definitely have some good fighters, I think.
They're deep. That's why we was in trouble and we had to call you guys. Because like at the end of the day, like we're listen, like we're not that.
Now when it comes to Britain, you guys have some of the best cricket and some of the best. What's the other game? Where the horse racing, some of the jockeys and stuff. Y'all are pretty good at that. Y'all are good at fencing. Y'all are good at
we're good
soccer.
At, we're good at certain things. Like, but to be fair, we would have been. I don't know where I would have been if the US didn't step in with World War II. I really don't. Like, I don't. Like.
Y'all would have been fine. Y'all would have still been eating fish and chips.
No, we wouldn't at all.
I'm playing. I don't know.
We'd have been messed up, like Churchill.
Winston Churchill.
He had a game, but boy, thank you. Salute, soldier.
Hey, man. Give a pour a drink. Let's go to the pub. Go get totally mutted. Get totally plastered.
Yeah, call me as drunk as you want. I'm telling you.
let's get mustard. Let's get mutted and plastered, mate. Hello, mate.
Yeah, I only do it to like put the stories to the people, because it's like, you know, at the end of the day, certain people sort of need to respond to certain things in a certain type of way, and I don't mean to be malicious. I really don't.
It just comes out that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Like Disney. Like Disney is malicious in the opposite way of what I'm doing. So it's like,
interesting analogy.
what they do is like, okay, I'm gonna sort of put something across that makes you think a certain type of way. But I'm just me, right? I ain't Disney. So it's like, but I do know certain things, and it's very hard for me to explain that. And I have to do it in a very.
We both agree on that. It's hard for you to explain sometimes.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Marcus. I love that. Just made me feel. When you said that, that just made me think of tea, like a ginger and.
Hey man, sometimes you need a tea. Sometimes you need it to drink. It's like calm down for all of us.
Yeah, ginger tea. It just made me think. I need a tea right now.
I always say tea is better than coffee.
Yo, bro. Like,
tea is better than coffee. I always say it's healthier.
I spent like 10 years where people were trying to convince me to drink coffee because it was just like a trend. And I was like, I ain't even doing that. They were like, oh, yeah, but that's what's got me through this whole career. That's what's actually sort of like, I was like, God damn, like, if anyone pulls that stuff on me, like where they say this has been something that has sort of, it's like, wow, you know, that's just not been me. Like, so I can't really, you know, run with that. It's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but there are so many robots out here that it's just like, okay, you know, I'm not going to discriminate, but I'm just going to acknowledge, and I'm not even going to tell you. I'm just going to say and see that you're a robot. Like, you're just like...
Hey, Simon, you said you used to play rugby. Do you not, do you have buddies that play like at a local, like, small league level?
Yeah.
Do you miss do you miss playing rugby?
I do a lot. I miss the guns. I miss the you know, the gun range. I miss the gun range. That's what I miss.
Well, do you ever like want to get back out there and have, you know, play like for fun, like rugby?
That's gonna happen. Look, I had a conversation with my family earlier on, and it's kind of interesting because what you're gonna see in the next couple of years is what we described earlier on another platform called Perfectly Imperfect. You're gonna see people that actually have something to say come out and like actually do some real shit, which is really interesting. I'm really interested in that. Like my brother's gonna actually come onto the platform. He called me earlier on, and was
that the guy on your stream yesterday on your phone?
No, not him. That's my local bro. That's like my real brother. Like I've got a huge family, and I'm the last of that. And the only reason why I'm coming on YouTube in the first place is because my generation, my generational sort of legacy is based on the fact that we're the last. So, like, you could Google my last name if you really knew who I was. There's certain people that actually got in contact with me over, like, LinkedIn and things like that. Shout out to Black David, Snoop, that actually know who I am. And that's the purpose of what I'm doing. I don't really give a shit about likes and subscriptions and the rest of it. I don't care, like, click on, click off. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like Geico to me. I don't give a fuck in that sort of way. But I do appreciate the people that have actually rocked with me. And I will say that over and over again. And I will say that over and over again. And I will say that over and over again. Do you get what I'm saying? But it's just, the thing is, it's like, I'm a last legacy of any human being that's been actually on this planet that has actually had a name that's not linked to a slave name.
I hear you. That's
So that's why I'm so passionate about it. It's nothing against anyone else, and sometimes I do go a bit like crazy on people.
Oh, a bit. Oh, a bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's basically. I'm gonna give a quick shout out real quick to Mrs. She said. Shout out to her along with Mr. He said. They were in the chat a while ago, but shout out to them. Yeah, man, just I think that sometimes that's what people need. That's why I like talking about sports, because it is some people, they took it seriously, made a career out of it. Others use it as a hobby. Some use it as therapy. And it's also for good health and good camaraderie. So it's always good for that.
Yeah, sports is it's a discipline.
Yep. I agree with you on that.
I know. I think people really don't get that. Like, it's a real discipline. I mean, I used to be a runner, so I used to sort of like wanna like think about how I could do like a 10-meter run, like and compete with everybody in the world in terms of the time. Because it was like 9 minutes and then it went down to 8. I was like, I want to do 7 minutes.
All the goals and accomplishments, the milestones, So we work at it little by little. Yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I could want to play or even want to play rugby professionally, because I see the injuries that they go through and the severe hits where I'm like,
I love it.
I know it's for us because we're the ones watching as spectators, but the people out there, when they're playing their lives on the line like that, you could have an injury where it could end your career, in one game.
I guess I guess we can have this conversation in terms of like sports, because technicalities and injuries is kind of interesting. So protecting yourself from that is a big deal. In terms of like understanding how you can actually do it. So if you're a wrestler, for example, you need to put a muzzle in your mouth, right?
Mouthpiece. Yeah.
In any sport, like we need to be technical, but life is kind of sport, like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to sort of really sort of understand what you're doing. So it's like, if you want to sort of go, okay, I want to like be the next javelin superstar that is really underrated, because no one talks about javelin superstars. All we talk about is basketball players and baseball players and whatnot, but you have javelin players out there. That takes a skill to actually throw the javelin and aim and do that correctly, and like understand where that javelin's gonna land, because it's like if you don't land that javelin in the right place, it becomes a problem, and that's why it's a sport in itself. So, like, I appreciate that the Olympics are actually something that we can actually view and take on board year on year, generation after generation, because it's a stature that it's like, wow, how did you do that? Do you get what I mean? And I think that's the issue with when we come like to our presidents and like the people that are supposed to lead us. There's no new thing. The Olympics were established when, and we have nothing else after that. It's just we're gonna like have the same conversation over and over again. How come it's not going on over and over again? Because like human beings are just sort of out here just procrastinating, doing bullshit, and it's like they're just pandering to whatever. Sorry, Mr. Intellectual Soapbox. They're just pandering to like whatever else is going on. Sorry, Marcus. You kicked me off your run, man. God damn. Everyone's just silent. If you're gonna be silent, I'm gonna talk. I'm saying.
I think Marcus took a tour, but real quick, hey, shout out to Sherelle. Thanks for coming by, sweetheart. But
my bad. I just cut out. My bad. I was cutting out.
All right.
Yeah. I appreciate you, Wally, and I was listening to what you were saying, Simon. I did listen.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to speak, but I don't know if you could hear me. But
Yeah.
We are in closing thoughts, though. And I want to say again, I appreciate New Orleans showed up. She's here in the chat. Nola baby, Nola baby, Sherelle. It's always on.
It was wild earlier.
If no one else, why y'all not talking? Well, because Simon was having the floor. That's why he had to grace him with the microphone. Shout out to her.
I love Sherelle, man.
Sherelle's cool, man.
She was like, I'm emotional, bitch.
She's cool. I mean, I appreciate Sherelle because we need some of that. We need some of that femininity on the panel sometimes when it's getting a little crazy. Like yesterday on a different channel. Sherelle knows what I'm talking about. It was going crazy yesterday, the other day. So.
I think I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Shout out to Fighter Complex though. Yeah. But yeah, man, we're coming to closing thoughts, and when Wally or Simon or Jay, you guys have anything to say before the timer goes off?
Yeah, real quick. This is another edition, part 5 of the, sports edition with the Intellectual Soapbox with Marcus running the show. This football week is, pretty stale because most of the hotter teams, they're literally on their bye week. So, it is what it is.
All right. And you can catch Wally on Well Talk Productions. Make sure you hit the link, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment for him, and also hit the Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. What have we got? Simon from Perfectly Imperfect, Simon Hectic. The British invader himself. That's kind of
cool. I like that. I like the British invader. And what I'm gonna say is, like, if you guys continue to do these lives in terms of talking about sports, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna pay attention to the British sports. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a perspective from Britain, the UK, United Kingdom, and like football, rugby, and everything else.
Make sure you keep tabs with the World Cup for your team, and also keep tabs.
Let's do that, bro.
Keep tabs with the English.
I think that'll be really interesting.
All right. Make sure you keep tabs with the English Barclays Premier League because that's one of my favorite leagues to watch, the Barclays Premier League.
All right.
So
I'll do that.
And keep me updated on rugby as well because I sometimes when I get to watch it, I had buddies that played overseas and played here, and they were fans of New Zealand All Blacks and stuff, and again, everybody that knows Simon's channel, make sure you subscribe to his channel, hit the link, like, share, subscribe to him on my Perfectly Imperfect or Simon Hectic, any other content he has. He always has some interesting conversations when he's not totally mutted. But Mr. Fish and Chips,
Look, we got a love bro situation going on, and people be talking about that. So stop.
It's all good. Jay Takashi, are you still there? I think Jay Takashi's out of the building right now. But everybody, make sure you go Jay's channel. Go follow him on Twitch, follow him on YouTube. Make sure you hit the link, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the Cash App, PayPal, Venmo as well. This has been brought to you by the Intersexual SoapBox channel. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat. Shout out to everybody who's still here. Shout out to everybody who's going to be watching on the replay. And without further ado, we are out.